Welcome back to the Trench to Trench Roblox devlog. Today we are looking at a run button in mobile and giving AI, Codex, and Roblox Assistant every chance to get it done until finally, spoiler alert, I just said, hey, recreate the button every time you spawn so that we don't get the bug where it stops working. That is the long story short, but here we are making, adjusting the speed of the left joystick, make the movement joystick max faster. So I wanted to initially have a lot more walking before the run hits like full tilt, and eventually I realized when you're running the gun is up in the air, so I was like, how can we keep shooting even though the gun is up in the air? So I told it to do that, but then you were just shooting straight up in the air. You have to animate it back into position before you fire the gun. So what I ended up doing was having like a really fast walk so you can walk fast and shoot, and then adding a run button, which I have to go back and test in PC now, that when you hold shift you're actually getting the same speed and everything as the run button, and that the walk is faster. Here we're testing. We had a player come, who's already in the game when I jumped in there, so we were actually having a battle for a long time shooting each other, but I was in here trying to test the bots. And so the bots were eventually around the sixth wave spawning outside of the boundary. And so I said, what can we do for this? And they gave me a couple options. And basically I asked, well, how is this even working? So it was just going the direction from the spawn of the player to the first set of bots, and then added an offset for every wave. And we need actual set markers. So I got it to, instead of using the 3 spawns and then offsetting them, I got it to make a folder with 3 spawns for every wave 1, 2, 3, etc. Here we're just messing around with the AI, getting that in order, because as I tested it, it was just using the same three parts, to test to spawn every wave. So once we got that working, now we're all set up to manually tweak all of the different wave spawns. As you see in each folder, it has its own 3 spawns, so we gotta pull them up. They were like stuck in the ground, a lot of them. I think the AI had already made some code where it detected if it was going to spawn it in the ground and pulled it up out of the ground. But we got to go through these eventually and position the bots how we want it. I don't know if eventually I will, maybe change the number of spawns per thing, per wave, or what I'm gonna do really in terms of having the players like run in the NPCs, because right now the NPCs basically spawn in place and just like spin in circles for the most part. I mean, they might move forward and back like a little bit, but I wanted them like running at you. My main problem now is like they throwing way too many smoke grenades, so like at wave 2 is just throwing crazy smoke grenades and they're too good. I don't know if that's just me or this is actually an issue that we're facing. So here we're testing, picking up items, getting to phase 2. I'm testing with the mobile most recently. So phase 2, I keep losing to them, and not just because of the smoke grenades, but here we're testing the waves. There we're on wave 3. So that's all well and good. You see a little more gameplay. I have something here. We have a player that came in. I have something that I thought of with the AI where I could ask ChatGPT to like make me an image, a height map, and a color map, and then also the coordinates of where to place things like towers and whatnot. And that's going to be really interesting. I want to try that tomorrow because you could make whole maps. I mean, it made like a square map with 2 trenches on either side, and I might use something like that. But you know, my map's not really going to be square. It's more of a straight line. It's more of a rectangle, but I could give it an image of what I want to the ChatGPT, and then say, you know, make something like this, sort of a rectangle path with these kind of elements to it. And it could make many different variations of that I could easily pop into the terrain. That's going to be interesting. And I wonder what sizes I'll have to do, if I have to like sew them together, or if I make too big of a map, it's whatever. So here, you know, we're getting the AI to try and make a run button. But we actually made the run button in mobile, and just too bad I didn't take any screen recording in mobile. But here we're trying to fix it, and I ran this thing over and over. Here you actually saw it looping. It was saying the same thing over and over again. But I ran so many different ways to let AI Assistant and Codex try and figure this out. I actually ran into an issue, maybe where I had to reload. See, it's looping the same answer. Where I had to reload my old file, and after I got in the file, you can see it already on server script service right there. There's a little red dot beside the thing, so it's out of sync. So I didn't even realize that the stuff I was trying, might have even worked, but it wasn't syncing because there was like a merge conflict or something. And so you had to go resolve that by right-clicking, going to script service, and click resume, and then choose the editor or the hard disk version to keep. Then you got to do that for also the 2 files in the starter player, script, etc. Here I am testing on the virtual device, and I couldn't even see, maybe it was because it was too small or something, but I couldn't even see the run button. As you notice, the run button wasn't even there. So I was trying to find a way to figure out how to debug these things, and like I said, see, there I am choosing you saw it very quickly. That was me resyncing all the files. Then I started to look through to find a way myself to debug because nothing was getting it. And you know what worked at the end? I told it, just redo the initiation code. Like, just delete all the buttons. I didn't say delete all the buttons, I don't care, but just redo the code. Just remake the button. And it one-shotted it, basically. So that was how to get that working. So there I am syncing, loading new files. It's opening 2 copies of Roblox Studio, so you gotta close the other one, and there we are resyncing again. What a lot of fun that was. But also something that happened was that I brought in assets, and I used the AI to scan for malicious code that was in these assets, because while I was playing, I kept getting these pop-ups to buy like $5, 325 Roblox to buy $5 of crap, some skin or whatever. So someone is, people are putting out assets and then they're obfuscating whatever. See here, don't make any changes, but search every script and see. Yeah, here's where like, oh, I found all these malicious scripts on all these different assets that try and do pop-ups to make you buy stuff. So I used the AI assistant to find all these things. I thought I ran out of credits, but it must be past midnight, or something. Anyway, here it says, this sandbags model had a script, and it goes on and it says, yeah, they use obfuscation techniques to hide purchase prompts that redirect to another developer's items. And I said, yeah, go ahead and fix all those that you found. So we used AI to search everything, get rid of those. Now we don't have those prompts anymore. Anyway, tune in next time.